We will always be working for the former First Lady of the United States. Always. Nobody should forget that in our office ever, right? She may morph into other areas that are new or different, but from a historical perspective, they are always working for the former First Lady. And to me, we will never put out anything less than 100% in anything that we do.
I think that trust is the most important thing that you can have
Yeah.
I think with anyone that you work with,
Yeah.
to be honest. It's really nice to have it in a boss. But I would say on the flip side, it's nice as a boss to have that in people that are, owning such a significant part of their lives.
Absolutely.
It, do you know when that trust came into play, or was it just a slow build over
I
time?
think it's when someone gives up their life and moves to another city and is, living in a rental. And I think she knew at that point, I think it didn't even need to be said in the same way that at the end of the White House, people may find it strange, but she and I never actually had a conversation about me leaving the White House and continuing on with her. It was implicit.
Yeah.
There was no way after all we had been through for 10 years at that point that I was gonna walk away and just send her off, trying to navigate going back into being a semi-private citizen, and there was no way I was gonna leave her.
Very semi.
And interestingly enough, like, I had my conversations about my new job with the president and not with Mrs. Obama, like, it was a done deal.
Now it's been nearly 8 years that you've not worked in the White House.
Correct.
And you've moved beyond public service. All my friends in public service, you're right. It's such a sacrifice and commitment, and they give up a lot to do these jobs,
Yeah.
and they're the biggest jobs in the world. I
Yep.
mean, they're so important, and
It's heady stuff, but it's a huge there are so many different levels of which it is a sacrifice, not just obviously the financial
yeah,
sacrifice for
yeah,
me being someone in their 40s making, a federal government salary
yes,
and have only made a federal government salary in my whole life,
yeah.
you know?
You're still working alongside Mrs. Obama, but now you've moved into other projects.
Yep.
So Higher Ground Productions, When We All Vote.
Yep.
Talk about the change in your
Yeah.
roles and responsibilities.
Um, could not have seen any of this coming. I had I mean, first of all, I really had no background to be in politics in the first place. As I said, I was an art history major. We're sort of now the family office of the Obamas, which is different from the foundation office. And I had no background at all in business. And to some extent, a lot of what we do, the first thing they did is they both wrote books. He took a little longer than she did, but we got to work almost immediately on Becoming and realizing as she's writing this how good this book is going to be. Then we start thinking about a book tour, and then it becomes like an eight-headed thing. The book tour isn't just getting on a plane and dropping into this Barnes and Noble and dropping into this tattered cover. All of a sudden, we're renting sports arenas and convention centers. And the first 22 shows sold out the day they went on sale. So all of a sudden, there's now a phase two. And it's we have a team of 5 people, and we're undertaking basically, 33 stops, 5 foreign countries, and not just Canada, like, we're going to Europe, and, it was just so much. It was so much, and there's so many things that we were all learning along the way, and, there's musical selections, and we wanted to do, a film to show people as they're filing in and they're waiting for the show to start. So then we do multiple films, then you wanna do a playlist, and I do believe that we sort of broke the mold for what a book tour could look like, and I think people are doing it now, but I don't know that before Michelle Obama, anyone did it on that scale. I mean, her first show was the United Center in Chicago with Oprah Winfrey, and that was just the beginning.
This speaks to what the chief of staff does, though. I feel like you've
Yeah,
touched on it without it's an impossible role to define because
exactly.
you were doing everything and you're stepping into these I mean, you're stepping into a book to like planning a book tour.
And thankfully, we had a bunch of type A women on our staff and
Yeah.
everybody sort of could figure out, but I was the chief of staff. If this went bad, you know, it's on
If
me.
anything goes bad, it's on you,
It's
right?
always on me, and I didn't have, the chief of staff like I had in the White House to throw her under the bus and be like, "Well, talk to Tina." There was no Tina. This is, like, all me, and none of us had done anything like this. Every one of us had come from the White House. So, nobody knew how to negotiate with Live Nation or Ticketmaster and figure out how to, have books be shipped all over and VIP section. Like, there's so much that goes into this. It was shockingly overwhelming and harder than anything I'd done in the White House.
When something goes wrong, can you tell me what personality comes out from you?
I'm short and I am on a good day, I'm direct. I am extremely direct. And at some point, you're doing this calculus in your mind. You want your team to like you and respect you. And there's other times where you just don't give a shit if your team likes you because something's gone wrong and you have to fix it. If the nice side of me doesn't come out, okay, that's okay. We'll all recover. Um, but I can be extremely direct.
Yeah, you're the embodiment of this Work Friends franchise that we're building to
Yeah.
me, where you're behind the scenes, it's a bit of a nebulous role. You're also very nice, and I think can be somewhat unassuming, but you're clearly a force. I mean, look at your career.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious to hear that side of you because we all have it, and you can't not have it because you're having to just execute at such
All the time.
in
And I don't let
perfection
up.
too.
And even now, even if we're not on a book tour, I am constantly pushing. I'm sure my team is so sick of getting articles from me. I'm constantly sending articles or should we be lifting this up on social? Uh, There is never we will always be working for the former First Lady of the United States. Always. So nobody should forget that in our office ever, right? She may morph into other areas that are new or different, but from a historical perspective, they are always working for the former First Lady. And to me, we will never put out anything less than 100% in anything that we do at all.